The new and affordable Scapa 10. How good is it? Should you buy it? And how does it compare to the 16-year-old? Well, we're about to find out. I'm Jeff. This is G Whiskey. Stick around. All right, we're looking at Scapa 10 today. This is exciting. This is the budget-friendly offering from the new Scapa line. Scapa is a distillery on Orkney, as is Highland Park. Highland Park being the one that's much better known than Scapa. Scapa was originally known for its very unique and coastal distillate, but over the last few years in particular, they've become really well known for absolutely nothing at all. Over the last few years, they've only had 2 bottles in their portfolio. Both were no age stated. Both were 40% whiskeys. None of them were bad necessarily, but they were boring and completely forgettable. But last year, or earlier this year, I didn't do my homework. I think it's last year. Either way, they recently put out this new line, and this time all of their whiskeys are age stated, and they give us better specs. So people got excited. Our 10-year-old here will be the second bottle that I've looked at from the new line. About a month ago, I looked at the 16-year-old, and I didn't mind it, but I didn't really love it. It didn't quite live up to expectations. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I got too excited about it. But the 10 is the one that gets recommended to me a lot more than the 16. The 16 seems to be much more divisive. A lot of people say the 10 is not only better bang for buck, but some people even claim that it's just a better whiskey outright than the 16-year-old. This one has been matured in American oak. That's all they tell us, which is not very specific, but okay. Beyond that, not much else about production. I'm just hoping that this will end up being one of those beautiful, rare bottles that is a perfect mix of affordable and delicious. So let's see where this one takes us. Let's jump into our review. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Like the rest of the new line, this one comes in at a healthy 48% ABV, which is nice. It is also non-chill filtered, which is also nice. Unfortunately, it is colored. For the look of the new bottle, I quite like it. I said the same thing with the 16. I think it's distinctive. I think it's eye-catching. It is kind of modern and stylish. I like the color scheme. So overall, the look does work. Also, I do prefer the squat, stubbier, wider bottles. They tend to be more sturdy, and sometimes there's a lot of shaking going on in this room, if you know what I mean. Earthquakes. So for look, we'll give this a score of 4 out of 5. It does not say non-chill filtered or natural color on the bottle itself. On the box, I believe it should say non-chill filtered. It does on the 16 at least. Information is, it could be better, especially you got a new line, you're trying to appeal to enthusiasts, but we are lacking a little bit of transparency, especially when it comes to color, which you don't need in the first place. But there we go. All right, on the nose, we get plenty of vanilla here. There's also apples, there's pears, there's guava, there's even some mango in here. We get some fermented fruity type notes. We get a big dollop of caramel and butterscotch. There's also some oranges and some ginger in here. Nice nose. On the palate and finish, we get a nice texture. This is mouth coating. We start off with a lot of notes of fermented fruit with a very restrained sweetness or even a tartness to it. There's green apple in here, there's green mango. We also get some spiciness in here with some ginger, some black peppercorn, even some chili, along with some earthiness. Our finish is medium in length with spices, coastal notes, and some mineral notes. Interesting. Okay, so this is a nice whiskey. I do enjoy it. However, it is not a budget-friendly masterpiece. It is not a new Craigellachie 13 or Arran 10, which, granted, is setting the bar ridiculously high. So how good is this actually? And the answer to that is good enough. To quote my girlfriend, I like it, but I don't think it's very exciting. I do like plenty of the flavors in here. I like the coastal elements, the minerals, the tart fruitiness. All of that works for me. Beyond that, we do get some nice intensity with the 48%, and there is some quality distillate shining through. I do think this is a well-made, competent, and enjoyable whiskey. It's not that exciting, but it's nice. What's missing here is a hook, some kind of sparkle, some kind of character that grabs you and keeps you engaged. The tasting notes actually make it sound more interesting than it is. Put differently, the sum is less interesting than its parts because there is a lot of quality in this whiskey, especially when you break it down. There's a lot of notes that I thoroughly enjoy here. I love the mineral notes in the finish. I love the fruitiness in here. Some of it's a little bit tart. Some of it goes in a more fermented direction. There are some really nice moments to this whiskey. But on the whole, the drinking experience here just leans a little bit more like nice and pleasant than it is outstanding. But yeah, there are definitely some moments in this. Next to the 16, it's brighter, it's more vibrant, it's more youthful, which is what you'd expect. Oppositely, the 16 is calmer, our flavors are more settled. But what bothers me about the 16 is the cask play. I think the cask influence, the oak influence in the 16 is too heavy-handed, and that robs it of some balance. It gives us too much of these sort of over-the-top, almost artificial tasting caramel sweetener notes, which puts me off. I mean, it is still a nice whiskey, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit disappointed. I was hoping for more with that one. Luckily, though, the 16's shortcomings do not apply to the 10-year-old. I think our casks and our distillate cooperate a lot more here. Also, I do want to mention one more time that this is a coastal whiskey. If you know me, if you know the channel, then you know that I'm always a big fan of coastal elements in my whiskey, and that does come through in the 10-year-old. I would say it comes through more than it does in the 16-year-old. And just on the whole, I do think the 10 is the better whiskey of the two. Ultimately, this is a little bit of a confusing one for me because, as I said, there are parts of this whiskey that I really love, I really enjoy, but on the whole, while I like it, I wouldn't say that it's a standout in its category or in its price bracket. So for score, I'm going to land on 84, which is a good score, and this is a very pleasant little whiskey. There's nothing that hits me in an off way. I think it's better than the 16. There's nothing in here that annoys me like the casks do in the 16. Is it a great whiskey? No, but it's nice. Also, I gotta say that I do appreciate that this does have its own character. It's not bland and it doesn't taste like everything else. What is lacking here is a hook. There's, you don't have any fireworks moments. There's nothing that really pulls you in, but it's still distinctive and I appreciate that. And that is going to be everything I have to say about this bottle. It is good stuff. Now, before we jump into value, I do want to say a quick thank you to all my channel members, all my patrons. Guys, thank you very much. And if you want to help out, I have Patreon and PayPal linked down below. This channel is all me. There's nobody else behind the scenes. It's a lot of work, but it is rewarding. And if you want to give me free money for that, it would be appreciated. Now let's talk about value. Value for this bottle is very good, especially here in Taiwan. Here, this bottle goes for about 35 American, which I think is absolutely worth it. I don't know how much it's going to cost in your market, but I know it will likely fall on the more budget-friendly, entry-level side of the pricing spectrum, and it's going to be worth it. Or I don't know if it's going to be worth it, but it's worth trying because it's not going to break the bank, and I think some of you are really going to get behind this bottle. While I'm not impressed, there's something there. There's something to this, so definitely worth checking out. And that brings us to the end of our video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I want to hear from you. So have you tried the new Scapa 10? Have you tried the new Scapa 16? Have you compared the two? What are your thoughts? Are they worth the price? Let me know all of that down below. Also, down below, you can let me know what bottles you want to see me review down the line, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.